Deadly Father. For I must sin.
So the next point for me that increased the intrigue, though, was also at that time I was very much into Anne Rice's vampire series.
Sure. Yep.
I've got so freaking into that. My sister-in-law at the time, Julie, introduced me to it, and I just got so into it where I remember walking around campus just at night thinking about vampires and just wanting to be one, and that whole, and then seeing that Peter Steele was like filing his teeth down or whatever. Did he actually do that, or was that a rumor?
I don't know, because there are pictures of him
That's
where you
right.
can tell it's done. So like, is that done, or is he wearing something to make him look like that? Like, I don't know.
So, what do you do?
I'm a vampire.
That's something I haven't heard before. You mean this literally, I take it?
Absolutely. I was waiting for you in that alleyway. Watching you, watching me. And then you began to speak.
What a lucky break for me.
Perhaps lucky for both of us.
And just the red, which we have here.
Which I've already.
Yeah.
I'm empty.
Yeah. The red wine on stage you would be drinking, and it had this what's the word, the Louisiana kind of that age of things. My brain's not working of what.
Oh,
Victorian.
Yes.
Victorian-esque,
exactly.
Yeah. Because I remember she even thought about Peter Steele. Like, she knew who he was, and like thought he would be cool to be able to play Lestat in the series. And
We're standing here outside of Anne Rice's house.
Author of Interview with a Vampire.
Anne is in a bad mood and won't open the door because we came here to go trick-or-treating.
Did the Playgirl spread, like there were all these things going on that I was just like, who the fuck is this dude, man?
What is he doing? Yeah.
So that's some of that kind of really started pulling me in a little bit further.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those
awesome.
points for you that along the line where you just kind of like elevated the intrigue each time?
Yeah, I think just his whole presence. I mean, any picture you ever saw of him, anytime, I've obviously been to a handful of live shows, and it's just like, being that, just a physical presence, right? He's huge.
And the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull, Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe."
And
huge.
and scary, and I mean, just the the I don't know, the cheekbones are just like, he has a really interesting, like, his face, you know, and the hair. I mean, it was just like he was like a a movie character in real life, like a frightening, you know, almost like dark horror character, you know,
But seductive.
but seductive at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, as she pulled down the shade, said there's nothing to fear, but the monster is here. So just tell me the time, be it 9:15, since the sun's gone away, now the creature will play.
So, you know, one of the things I always remember is like, and to this day, I'm wondering how the heck he would do that without getting a sore shoulder, but he would wear, like on stage, you know, he'd be there. I mean, and I'd get pretty close to the stage and looking up at this monster, and he would have, you know, the bass, but instead of the bass guitar strap, it was an actual like chain.
Yeah.
Like a chain the size
that's right.
of the size of something, like if you were to, like, you know, you had to, I don't know, tow somebody's car out of a snow pile or something. Like, it was an actual chain.
Yeah.
And that was his guitar strap. And I'm like, man, you are that's hardcore. Like, that's yeah, just the weight of that, and like, you know, it went with everything else. It just was that presence. So but one of the things that, you know, I will never forget, I mean, this is the one and only time I had the opportunity to meet Peter.
Nice.
Ironically, was at a show. It was an Anthrax show that I went to.
Okay.
I used to see a lot of shows at Irving Plaza in New York City. Because, you know, they play a lot of, you know, metal bands that I liked, and punk bands, and every show, it was always less than $20, you know? It's like,
right.
You know, $15-20 or whatever. And so I went there to see an Anthrax show, and it sort of like was sort of surreal almost, because there's a, you know, a bar in the back where a lot of people would hang out, and I see this figure there, and I'm like, that person looks like oddly familiar. And then I went up, and like I was talking to somebody else. I'm like, the person looks famous. I didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of light there. So, but I'm like, there's something about this person. And I was talking to somebody nearby, and I'm like, and he goes, you know, he's like, that's Peter Steele sitting there. I'm like, what? Like, wait a second, Peter Steele from Type O is just, and why wouldn't he? He's just a fan of music, right? And hanging out in New York City. You know, it was, I don't know, it was probably a Friday or Saturday night, and he went there to see Anthrax play like anybody else in the crowd.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm like, this is I got to talk to the guy, you know, I don't want to be a whatever fanboy or, you know, going up to him and like freak him out or anything, but like, I got to meet him. I got to shake his hand. I got to, you know, like let him know like, hey, this is like, you know, really, really cool for me. I'm a big fan of yours, etc. And, you know, I went up to him, and man, I mean, nicest guy in the world. I mean, we just, you know, we're chatting, not a long time, but, you know, I said to him, and I had my Anthrax ticket on me. And I said, I said, this is going to sound a little weird, but would you mind signing my Anthrax ticket? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So, you know, and a real thick Brooklyn accent, which like, I just loved. And so, you know, I still have it. I mean, I've got that ticket stub with Peter Steele's signature on it. And, you know, we were talking, and at the time I was thinking about moving to Brooklyn. I might have been in Queens at the time, or maybe I was still living at home in Westchester. But either way, I was, you know, going to be moving to the city. And I said, oh yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, moving to Brooklyn. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, where are you thinking? I'm like, I don't know, maybe Park Slope. Park Slope, by the way, is like one of the wealthiest areas of Brooklyn, right? So I didn't know anything. I was just like, yeah, I don't know, maybe Bensonhurst or Park Slope. And he goes, oh yeah, Park Slope, you know, it's pretty expensive down there. Yeah. And just like, and we just were BSing for a couple minutes, and I'm like, you know, shook his hand, thanked him. You know, I didn't want to, you know, disturb him for too long. You know, and I'm just like, that was a really cool moment, and I've got his signature on an Anthrax ticket stub.
That's awesome.
Peter was unique. You know, we were all wanted to be rock stars. Everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody's been putting all this effort into that. Peter didn't give a shit about that. He just wanted to play music, make records, and with the least amount of effort and not leave home. He didn't want to leave Brooklyn.
You know, and there were a lot of really cool bands. I was just telling you about when I saw Motorhead at that same venue, and, you know, randomly bumped into Lemmy at the Barnes and Noble a block away from the venue, like hanging out near like the magazine rack, and had to go up to him, shake his hand, and like, you know, and he was really nice. And I'm like, you know, that's just kind of I don't know. It was just sort of like the vibe. It wasn't like, you know, I don't know. Like there was like a weird, like, it wasn't like being starstruck. Like, you know, it was like the opposite of Hollywood, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, you know, these people seem very, I think, approachable. In that area, and you know, so
yeah, I remember being very surprised by Peter that way too, because I got the chance to meet him before. I want to say, I was trying to remember which show it was, because I saw him at 2 shows, but there was one, I want to say it was the old maybe Coca-Cola Starplex venue in Dallas. It's changed names so many times, but I think it was that. We went to see Queensryche.
From you, no one enters the secret place, the barrier only I embrace. Time is fleeting now, they say. Take time to look inside, things change.
But Typo was opening, and we got there early, and you walk in the gate, but then around it was like, it was outside, you know, it wasn't an indoor venue.
Yeah.
And outside there was this area that went around the venue where you could walk and get food and buy stuff. And then you would go inside the actual venue, which was still outside, but you had to go into another place.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one of the other band members was with him, but I saw, because he's so huge.
Yeah.
Like I saw him pretty far, maybe, I don't know, 100, 200 yards away. And I was like, that's got to be Peter Steele. Like, the dude looks huge from this far away.
Yeah,
And of course, the hair was super long.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told my first wife and still best friend, Jenny, I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to do it. Because as a musician, I don't know, it's weird sometimes, because like you said, you don't want to, you don't want to bother them. You don't want to encroach.
Hey, Dr. Wiggins?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm sorry to bother you with this. I got a little thing on my back, and I was hoping you could save me a visit to a dermatologist.
I'm sorry, I'm running a little late.
Well, it'll only take a second, take a quick look at it. I'm sure it's nothing, and you could just tell me if it's
You can make an appointment and just come on down to the office. I'll be happy to look at it there.
I mean, it would just take a second, really. I mean, just say something or nothing, and, it's like looking at your watch, really.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a writer.
Next time you're in a big hurry, why don't you write me a bunch of shit for free?
You don't want to do the starstruck kind of thing, but they were if it would have been a different band, I'm not sure I would have went to go talk to them, but they meant so much to me. It's so unique that I was like, okay, I'm going to go do it. And I remember at one point in the conversation, I was telling them how I was a musician too.
Who's that? What you see? It's me. But to finally make you believe, visualize another life without this damn disease. Yeah, I know it's inside, even though I still tried to kill it, to burn it just like those times you lied to me.
And he starts asking me, oh, okay, well, I can't do the accent like you, Dan, but asking me, like, what kind of music, you know, what kind of stuff you doing?
Interested. He was engaged. He wanted to learn more from you. I mean,
I was
that's a quality individual
did
right
you just
there.
ask me that back? I didn't expect you to say anything back to me. But it's those kinds of people I think are rare
genuine.
and cool. And it reminds me because you had sent me a video with that interview with I think it was Johnny and Kenny.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they went on tour with Pantera for a long time.
The Pantera tour was probably
that was over the top.
That was the peak of it, and the peak of insanity, the peak of popularity.
Yeah.
And,
both bands were top of the game.
Pantera's peak, they were the biggest that they were at that point. You know, it was Far Beyond Driven.
Yeah.
That record went to #1 for them, right?
Yeah.
That
tour is in the documentary.
Yeah, you guys are throwing toilet paper at each other on stage.
Oh yeah, that was the last show. They got banned from the Thomas and Mack Center for a couple of years for that.
Really? Wow.
That set, it was half the set was just feedback.
They played like 3 songs, and then we just started tackling them and throwing shit at them. And it was just feedback. And
that was a lot of fun.
We had a great time, man.
Looks like it. Lifelong friends from it too. You know?
It was back in the 90s, and no matter what we did, we couldn't do no wrong.
And Dimebag was the same way. Like, my family kind of has a history with him. Like, he was Diamond Daryl in their glam phase. They went to Tyler, played a show. My brothers, Troy and Bret, their band Wizard, got to open up for him and hang out and go party with him. And so we would see him around Dallas every once in a while, and he would remember my brother Bret. We saw him at a club we went to go watch King's X, and he's there, and Bret goes to talk to him, and they start talking about the show back in Tyler, and he remembers it. And he remembers Bret, and they talk about it. But then later in that show, he's just like right up front, rocking out, like. No kind of pretentiousness at all. Just all about the music and camaraderie.
It was one of a kind, you know. There was only a few of those kind of people exist where the person is very talented, amazing musician, humble and cool guy, not a rock star asshole.
He certainly deserved to be in the higher echelons of rock goddery.
He was great, man. Sweetheart of a guy.
I truly believe in all my experience with him that everything he did, whether it was the crazy shit you see on the home videos or as simple as writing riffs, everything came from a place of fun for him, because if it wasn't fun, then it's not worth doing.
And this is a song about my grandma. She raised me from a child. She was a very religious lady. She went to church every night. She read a Bible all the time, yeah. And late at night, she'd be in a room singing and dancing and shouting, carrying on like she used to do. Ah, my grandma, I remember, yeah. And I'd be in my room, feeling so alone, wondering why my mother left and my daddy never came around. And my grandma
feel sorry for me. But I want to say this. You listen to me for a second. If you plan on having kids, if you have children and you plan on having kids, make sure that your kids know that you love them more than anything in the whole wide world. More than anything in the whole wide world. No matter who they are, no matter what they look like, what they do, what kind of rock and roll they listen to, or if they wear tattoos. Oh, love, yeah. Because if you don't show your children love, when they grow up, they will grow up fucked up. And I know what I'm talking about. I had to work it out. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Somebody say yeah. Somebody say yeah. Somebody say yeah. Come on, say yeah. Somebody say yeah. Somebody say yeah. I know I can hear you, yeah.
And that's how they were. Like, we weren't even a very big band at that point, but they didn't care. They just loved music so much.
Music, oh, I love the music. Oh, music, it's over my head. Yeah, and I remember just like it was yesterday. Come on,
And I love that about musicians, you know, the ones that you can find that are that way.
Yeah.
They're not all that way, right?
No, without a doubt. Yeah. That's awesome.
Which makes more sense now, because didn't you say that one of their songs that they had written for Dime?
Yeah, evidently there's an interview somewhere where Peter says that Halloween in Heaven is like a it's not you know, it's like in memory of, it's not about,
yeah, right,
you know,
right.
Dime, but it's that is like was for Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Halloween in heaven. Halloween in heaven.
So yeah,
It makes more sense because I didn't know that they used to tour together. So
yeah,
it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
now.
I actually didn't realize that either. And also, I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, yeah, Dime, he's buried down in Arlington. I mean, he's not far from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should go sometime. That'd be cool.
That'd be an interesting, like, morbid day trip.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Seems 3 years, or maybe 4. Someone drops dead, whom I adore. You love someone, there will be grief. The kiss of death, lips of a thief.
But I also remember, you know, there's two other instances I wanted to mention real quick that they seem to impact me in these weird ways where my band Core Factor would always do these Halloween shows, and they were always kind of one of the biggest shows of the year. We would get all done up in costume and all. You know, one year we hung the singer from the ceiling, and we were supposed to drop him down slowly during the first song. We opened with Head Like a Hole, and the thing wasn't working. And he sang most of the entire first song upside down because they couldn't get the rope to fucking go over the. I'm like, he could have died so easily.
By his legs?
Yes.
You know what that reminds me of? And this actually ties into like one of, you know, kind of the Gothic band typo influences, right? Is Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. lead singer, I can't think of his name, but comes out on stage and literally sings that whole song, like an extended version of that whole song, but deliberately hanging upside down, like live on stage. And
That's
he's upside
awesome.
down, and like the whole time I'm thinking to myself, how can you still sing and like not lose consciousness? I mean, all the blood is literally running to your head, and it's like he was like that for 10-15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that can't be healthy.
yeah. Our singer was kind of crazy that way, which made for cool shows. It was fun.
Yeah.
He was, a big part of that. But we would always play Black #1.
Yeah.
Every year, in that Addams Family kind of feel. With the and the singer Drew, he would go over there and he'd play it on the keyboard. We had all that in there, but it was just so cool because still, even at that point, and Type O Negative was a little bit bigger by then, but I still didn't feel like that many people knew them. They still felt underground a little bit, and to be playing on stage and having 200 or 300 people out in front of you know the song, singing with you, black, black, black.
Yeah.
It was such a kind of a surreal, kind of moment that was really fun. It was really fun to go through.
Love in the dead.